Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Friday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk all things Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and today's report includes the Steelers fall into the trap game and fall to the Cleveland Browns. Myles Garrett sends a message to TJ Watt in a post-game interview. New Pirates hitting coach Matt Haig speaks for the first time since his hiring, and more. As always, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into the first news story of the day. The Pittsburgh Steelers fall into the trap game and fall to the Cleveland Browns. I'm frustrated, I'm disappointed, and I'm embarrassed, but I can't say I'm surprised. Last night, the Pittsburgh Steelers went into snowy Cleveland and fell for the trap game, losing to the Browns 24-19. Here's a quick synopsis of the game. In the first quarter, neither team could do anything on offense, as the Browns had a few 3-and-outs and the Steelers repeatedly made costly mistakes. The second quarter is when the Browns finally started putting some quality drives together, and they took a 10-3 lead into halftime. The third quarter was the same way, with Cleveland dictating play and putting up another touchdown. The fourth quarter was finally when the black and gold showed up. The first 4 full drives of the fourth quarter saw the Steelers' offense get 2 touchdowns and the defense get 2 turnovers. However, that would be the only spurt of success for Pittsburgh, as a bad punt gave Cleveland great field position to have a go-ahead touchdown drive and win the game. This loss now makes the Steelers 1-5-1 in their last 6 trips to the Dog Pound, and Mike Tomlin now falls to 1-8 as head coach on Thursday Night Football. I also believe this loss ends the chances of the Steelers getting the number 1 seed in the AFC heading into playoffs. I and many other Steelers fans could make a case that this loss was because of the weather, because they just played the Ravens 4 days ago, or because the referees sucked and couldn't give George Pickens or Cam Hayward one single penalty call. But as the saying goes, when your hand points the finger at someone else, there's 3 more fingers pointing right back at you. It's no one else's fault that Mike Tomlin once again got beaten by an inferior 2-win team. He was outcoached, made all the wrong decisions, and had one of the worst time management games of his life. He was a top Coach of the Year candidate going into last night's game, but that campaign just went up in flames. As for the offense, they've struggled since coming off the bye week. Not much went right for them against the Browns. Constant pre-snap penalties, getting pushed back in the running game, and bad play calling and execution. The way they played in the first 3 quarters of the game, it looked like they were paying tribute to Matt Canada on the 1-year anniversary of his firing. The stat line for Russell Wilson reads that he had a decent game, and he hasn't been the worst part of the offense, but taking bad sacks, fumbling the ball, and not seeing open receivers downfield is inexcusable for him as a veteran and cost him points. And lastly, the defense gave up 24 points to the Browns in a blizzard game. They were lights out in the first quarter, but you can't under any circumstances let that team march down the field for 3 touchdown drives. The worst stat of the night for them is that the Browns were 4 for 4 on 4th down. The highest paid defense in the NFL should stop any team at least once out of those 4 tries on 4th down. Also, 2 players who are making a combined $46 million on this defense were completely invisible. You could put the faces of TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick on a milk carton because that's how irrelevant they were. At the end of the day, the Steelers deserved to lose this game, and they only need to look in the mirror to see who's to blame. This was the Browns' Super Bowl because they have nothing else to play for, and the black and gold responded with a pathetic and atrocious showing. George Pickens involved in a fight on the last play of the game. One of the few times that the Steelers actually showed some fight against the Browns last night was a literal fight between George Pickens and a member of the Browns defense. On the Hail Mary at the end of the game, Pickens and Browns corner Greg Newsome were tied up running into and through the end zone. Both men wound up near the first row of seats where they slugged it out and went down to the ground. Officials and Brown security had to break the 2 up, but this was obviously Pickens letting out his frustrations for not getting any pass interference calls in the game. Post-game, Pickens was asked what happened, to which he responded, quote, "Nothing." Newsome obviously didn't think that altercation was nothing, as he posted on X after the game, "Fake tough guy." In the same interview, Pickens was asked what lessons could be taken away from the loss, and he said this: "Just keep grinding. Like I said, conditions played a huge part in today's game. I don't really think the Cleveland Browns are a good team at all. I think the conditions kinda saved them today." We will have to wait and see if his comments are correct when the Steelers and Browns meet again in 2 weeks back in Pittsburgh. Myles Garrett sends a message to TJ Watt in a post-game interview. Heading into last night's game, there was lots of talk about Browns defensive end Myles Garrett wanting an apology from Steelers linebacker TJ Watt for the way Watt reacted to losing last year's Defensive Player of the Year award. Garrett followed up his apology request with a 3-sack performance against the Steelers, where he dominated whoever was blocking him all night. To no surprise, Garrett was selected by the Thursday Night Football broadcast crew for a post-game on-field interview. In that interview, he sent a message to Watt saying, "We spoke at the coin toss, but that's about it. Like I said, I got a lot of respect for him, a lot of respect for all the guys over there, and all the edge rushers in the league. But I'm number one. That's from Edge 1 to Defensive Player of the Year. I'm the guy, so that runs through me. There's no other person being defended as I am, or schemed or planned against like I am. So just goes to show, you can throw that out the window, I'm gonna find a way." I'm going to preface this by crediting Garrett with an excellent game played, and the victor gets to write the stories. However, Myles, don't act like you're outperforming Watt most times you two play each other. This is just your third time having a multi-sack game against the Steelers compared to TJ's 4 times against the Browns. Also, don't act like TJ isn't getting the same treatment in terms of being schemed against like you do. Lastly, your performance last night doesn't change the fact that TJ deserved to win Defensive Player of the Year last season. He still outperformed you in every single stat category aside from some PFF Phantom stats. Oh, and one more thing. If you have to say out loud that you're number one, that means you're not number one. A real number one doesn't have to convince others and deep down himself. With that said, and once again, congratulations Cleveland on winning your version of the Super Bowl. And Myles, enjoy the rest of your time as a Brown. They'll probably be looking into trading you in the offseason. New Pirates hitting coach Matt Haig speaks for the first time since his hiring. Just a little over a week ago, the Pittsburgh Pirates hired Toronto Blue Jays assistant and former Bucks player Matt Haig as their new hitting coach. Yesterday, Haig got to speak with the Pittsburgh media for the first time since his hire, and he had a lot of interesting things to say about what he will do for the Bucks. Firstly, Haig spoke about what drew him to returning to Pittsburgh, saying, "Just going through the process and understanding the want for growth within the front office, the organization, the players. I enjoy that. I love the thrill of being in it with the players and organization to take that next step, and it seems in all my conversations, everybody wants that, and that's extremely appealing. And also, my playing experience here with the Pirates when it was popping and we were in the playoffs and kind of seeing that environment come alive, it's extremely enticing on my end." When talking about the players he will be coaching, Haig said, "No matter what stage of their career they're at, they all want to take that next step, they all want to win, and they'll do whatever it takes. I want to help mold that and bring that together." As for how the players feel, one of Haig's former players in Toronto, in utility man Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, spoke about reuniting with his former coach. "I really liked working with him in Toronto, and I'm excited he's now a Pirate. He's an up-and-coming coach that has a really good understanding of analytics as well as different techniques that allows guys to be free in the box. He is going to help us a lot." Haig will have a low bar to clear replacing Andy Haynes, but it sounds like he will hopefully give the Bucks bats a little jolt next season. Once again, welcome back to Pittsburgh, Matt Haig. Paul Skeens comes up short for the National League Cy Young. On Monday this week, Paul Skeens won the National League Rookie of the Year award. However, that wasn't the only award Skeens was a finalist for, as he had the opportunity to become just the second rookie ever to win Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young in the same year. On Wednesday night, the winner of the Cy Young Award was announced, and unfortunately, Skeens came in third, behind the award winner in the Braves' Chris Sale and the Phillies' Zach Wheeler. Even though he didn't win, it's still one hell of an accomplishment by Skeens to come in third for the Cy Young in exactly 500 days since he was drafted first overall. That caps off a legendary year-and-a-half run by this 22-year-old phenom. Once again, congratulations to Paul Skeens on winning Rookie of the Year, and here's to more success in your bright future. And lastly, the Pittsburgh Penguins could be getting these two players back tonight. I'm saving my breath here. Tonight, the Pittsburgh Penguins host the Winnipeg Jets at PPG Paints Arena. Injured forward Kevin Hayes and sixth defenseman Chris Letang will be game-time decisions, according to head coach Mike Sullivan. Another note for tonight's game is that once again, Tristan Jarry gets the start for the Penguins against Connor Hellebuck for the Jets. Puck drop is at 7 p.m., and Lord help us all as we watch the best team in the NHL take on the worst team in the NHL. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up a Friday edition of the Steel City Sports Report. Again, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching, and thank all of you who have subscribed to the channel. We are now at 200 subscribers. I appreciate and love each and every one of you, and I will see you guys back here on Monday with some more Pittsburgh sports news.